But it was just over disagreement of work, you know, and the way it was positioned, and we had lots of conversations about it, and then we compromised because I knew Cheryl had a really good point, and I knew I really had a good point.
Right.
So together we worked it out.
Toby's a tenacious friend. I mean, she doesn't, I mean, there's some, I have to say, and this is not a good quality in me, but I'm probably a little quicker to throw friendship away, and it's not a good trait. I don't know why that is, but Toby's tenacious about the friendship and keeps coming back at it, and I mean, that's really says so much about the love and the unconditional element about it, and so that's what's made it work.
One of the reasons that Jeff is here is because he was in a program last night at the JCC that was sponsored in part by the National Council of Jewish Women, the Columbus chapter. And one of the things that he talks about in the book is that Ames, the community of Ames, was itself active in promoting women's friendships through the YWCA there.
Yes.
And the National Council of Jewish Women, I think, whether, I don't know if it's a stated goal or not, but certainly has that effect. Can you talk?
Unbelievable. There are some women that are just watching us today that we have our dear friend Barb who's here, who both of them are co-presidents now of NCJW. And, we hand it over. But I have made some unbelievable friends. I mean, I'm like getting goosebumps about it because it's just, I wouldn't have that if I'd never joined NCJW. And I've also met some wonderful women through the YWCA in Columbus. So two very women-oriented organizations have been really good for me. But the NCJW has really been some deep, long-lasting friendships. I'm absolutely sure of it.
And I was rather dragged into it, being a marketing person. Toby saw me, and it was like, there's my mark. She's going to do the public relations for NCJW because Toby was the president at the time. So, she's my client. You grudgingly go into it going, yeah, of course I'll do that. I'll write some press releases, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the women are fantastic, and it's really so much about advocacy. It's all the kind of things that I care about. I had been a reporter and a journalist. I'd worked in the state legislature, and later in my career got into public relations, but what I've always cared about is advocacy, and that's a huge part of what the National Council of Jewish Women is about. And all of these women, they're also dedicated to these issues, teen dating, abuse prevention, and working at the Wise Family Homeless Shelter. Mm-hmm. It's just they're all the issues that NCJW stands for, things that I cared about all my life, but never found one organization that really kind of articulated those and spoke to those. When I went to the national website after she told me that I was going to do their PR, and I figured I might want to read something about it.
A good idea, yeah.
Maybe know just a little about them. Just went down this list of healthcare reform and reproductive choice, and just every single dynamic of caring about the well-being of women, children, and families, much like your organization. Mm-hmm. It just resonated with me as an individual, and that's why all those people who are members care about those same things I do.
One of the things that Jeff talks about repeatedly, actually, in the book is the kind of fragility of women's friendships once they reach about age 20 to 40.
Right.
And, many of us are moving into different communities as we go to college. We become involved in nuclear family units that are now our own. And I know that the local chapter has an initiative around trying to engage and involve younger women, as does the Y.
Yes.
Is that, I mean, are you doing that because you see the need in the young women, or because you want to preserve and reinvigorate the organization?
I think it's for all those reasons, Cindy. I think our organization is called The Next Generation, and as much as we love the friends that we've made in NCJW and the people around us in the community, a lot of the mothers had younger women just starting in their 20s and 30s, and we felt a need that what's the next generation of our leadership in the community for NCJW. So that's how it started. We've been wanting to do it for 3 years and finally just got lucky this year. And they are just so enjoying it because it gives these women a sense of camaraderie. They're mothers with young kids. So their programming is very different. But, we have like 60 members already, and we can't even get 69 members for our own organization. But they just have really glommed onto it. I mean, it's that sense of being, and they love the community service part. So, you know, we bonded. I mean, I knew Cheryl's talents, and I knew how smart she was, and I knew she's very advocacy driven. This organization's not for everyone. It's not necessarily touchy-feely like some other. This is hardcore, you know, go to the Hill and make some change. And but our friendship is not necessarily built on, you know, the relationship that we have at NCJW only. It's, I mean, Cheryl loves my kids. I'm a mom of young children, while all my other friends kids are in college, 10 years old.
Oh, wow, great.
Twin boys.
Wow.
Cheryl has helped me out. You know, I have no family here, and for me to reach out and ask someone to, you know, help me with my kids for that day is huge for me.
Wow.
Oh,
But
it's a
because I
privilege.
trusted Cheryl, and as I do Barb and some of the other women.
Cheryl should be home watching the kids right now, so they're here.
So they're in school, so we're
They're
lucky.
unsupervised.
The great thing for me, my children are grown, so
Right.
Toby's, you know, and I miss going to the zoo and going to the Circleville Pumpkin Festival and I have these kids that are just so much fun and so smart and inquisitive, and, you know, when you get to see kids, you know, life through a child's eyes, it's just the most humbling. I mean, the things they say, the things they think about is just so cool. I wanted to add one other thought about introducing young people, and I think this is something that a lot of organizations deal with. We also collaborate with Freedom of Choice Ohio and NARAL, and a lot of organizations that do advocacy seem to have women who are in their 40s and 50s leading all those efforts and all those initiatives. It's kind of harder to get the young women to sense, you know, to want to be involved, and part of it may be that they're busy in their lives, and the other, you know, our concern is we want to educate them about the opportunities and so forth. So.
Jeff, you quoted a Spanish proverb. Tell me who you're with, and I'll tell you who you are.
Right.
How did you see that in the Girls from Ames?
Well, that's actually, you made it to the last page of the book, because that's in the last page of the book. Yeah, tell me who you're with, and I'll tell you who you are. And that's really just defines women's friendships, especially, because who they choose to be with defines them for the rest of their lives sometimes. And in the Ames girls' case, they chose each other sometimes just because they were sitting next to each other in the second grade, and yet they remained together, which was a choice now into their mid-40s. And some, I mean, you know, they've selected each other later in life, but they've still made that choice. And so they are women of service, and they're women who care about each other and their children, and so it's beautiful to watch it.
I want to close with one more quote from the book, and then we're going to ask one more person to join us just very quickly.
We'll have to move over here. It's getting tight.
Well, she's going to stand behind us and look really, really tall. This is Kelly, who is talking to her daughter, Liesl,
Right.
of whom she'd lost custody. And so
Yes.
a very a difficult relationship. And her quote in describing to her daughter after coming back from one of the reunions was, "Our laughter is a life vest, a source of promise that we will not go under."
Yes.
And I just thought that really captures how important these friendships are in our lives.
Well, in the end of the book, Kelly and another girl, Angela, they both have breast cancer now.
Right.
So the book has ended, but their lives are continuing with that, and they're there for each other through the cancer. It's interesting because they're sort of mini celebrities to people who've read the book, but they're still there for each other.
The book is The Girl from Ames, and we are today at the JCC, and we're going to be joined by Melanie, who's going to stand behind us and look
I can
just
get up and Melanie can
spectacular.
take a seat.
No, you're fine, you're fine.
Back here.
And part of why we are here is because there is, I can do this without spilling food, the Jewish Book Fair. And Melanie, will you tell us just a little bit about it? Jeff's books are
Absolutely.
available?
Jeff's books, along with a lot of other books, are here at the JCC as part of our Jewish Book Fair. This is our 20th plus year at the JCC doing the Jewish Book Fair. And we're so happy that, Jeff, you were here last night to kick us off with a great event. We have a lot of other authors coming in over the course of the next 2 weeks, and we'll be here at the JCC through the 15th of November.
Name some of them.
We have Martin Fletcher coming, and Charlotte Gordon, Alan Weingrad, who is not yet an author but is coming to do a little bit of a lecture series. So lots of exciting things coming up. There's more information by calling the JCC or by checking our website at www.columbusjcc.org.
And Jeffrey Zaslow, the author of The Girls from Ames, also the last lecture with Randy Pausch, and Highest Duty with Captain Sullenberger. And that book, by the way, sold out last night here.
Well, they only had 6 copies, so it's nothing to brag about.
Sold out. In seconds, they were all gone. But they'll take an order, right, Melanie?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So thank you so much for being with us today and for getting to meet Jeffrey Zaslow and Cheryl Pintella and Toby Furman, Melanie, and the National Council of Jewish Women Columbus Chapter for making this possible. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. It was great. I really enjoyed it.